Stevie GB here. Welcome to my podcast, Suffocating in Suburbia. Where did I get that title? Well, I'll tell you. I stole it. I stole it from Graham Parker of Graham Parker and the Rumor, a song called Nobody Hurts You. There's a great line in there called Suffocating in Suburbia, the new estates of claustrophobia. It's a great line. I hope he doesn't find out that I stole it from him. But I love the line. I'm using it. It's a great title, Suffocating in Suburbia, because that's what I'm doing. That's what I've been doing for the last 45 years. I grew up in Brooklyn, New York. I was 14 years old. I was dragged from the streets of Brooklyn and thrown onto a yellow bus. That's what I like to say. From East Flatbush to East Islip, Long Island, the suburbs of New York. It is suburban as you can get. There were a lot of suburban towns and places along the entire country. I would say it's mostly suburban, and it's different than city life. A lot of places in the suburbs are close to the city, so we're able to work there or attend shows or go in to have fun in the city, right? They don't call it New York City, we call it the city. We have to take a train to get to the city from the suburbs. But this is what people dream of, right? The white picket fences, the suburban landscape, the backyards, the dogs, the cats, the children, the schools. It's all wonderful on the outside. To the naked eye, the suburbs is everything. But when you look closer, it's really not. I remember moving from Brooklyn, and my mother said, we got to get out of Brooklyn because it's all crazy people here. We got to get away from these crazy people. And on the way out to Long Island, I saw signs. Pilgrim State Psychiatric Center, Kings Park Psychiatric Center, Central Islip Psychiatric Center. Ma, the crazy people are here. There's a lot of crazy people out in the suburbs. And I was in the city. I was in Brooklyn, on the streets of Brooklyn, playing wiffle ball and stickball and kick the can with all the kids. And I was dragged away. And I remember being in the backyard of a schoolyard out here in East Islip. There were a bunch of kids around, and I said, hey, let's play some stickball, wiffle ball, something. And they said, nah. I said, well, what do you kids do for fun? They said, well, we make out with girls, we smoke pot, and we throw rocks at the school. And I was like, really? So I left the crazy streets of Brooklyn to learn about sex, drugs, and vandalism. The suburbs, suffocating. I watch my neighbors. I watch what they're doing all the time. What's going on over there? You always wonder what's going on next door, right? What's going on over there? Why are there so many cars in his driveway? Why are they always parked in front of my house? Why is his dog always on my lawn? Why does his lawn look better than mine? These are the suburbs. I had one guy once, we were living in Patchogue, and he came over, he said, can I just plug this into your outlet out back? I'm like, okay. He plugged an extension cord into our outlet. I don't know why I said okay. Dragged it over the fence. It was there for hours. And we heard him over there sawing with like some kind of power saw. What the hell? Why is he using our electricity? I pulled out the plug. I threw it back over the fence. He never came back and said, can I plug that back in? But it made me wonder, why did he do it in the first place? What the hell's going on? I'm confused about the suburbs. A lot of weird people. People are very specific about where they live in the suburbs. Want to make sure their neighborhood stays intact. They don't want any people of a different color or a different race moving near them. It might bring down their property values. That's what it's all about in the suburbs, value. They value their homes. But what inspires these people? What do they like? Do they just go through life every day doing what they do, being teachers and cops and firemen and whatever they do with their lives, accountants, lawyers, doctors. They have to go to the city for their theater and their culture. Well, they go things out here. They got community theater and they've got movies and they've got things out in the suburbs. There are people who live in the suburbs who never left the suburbs. They don't even go to the city. They just stay here. I know people that were born and raised in the same town they got married in and had children in, and they're going to die in. They never leave their town. Seems kind of bizarre to me, but I guess they're happy. Who knows? Everybody knows everybody's business in the suburbs, or do they? They really don't. How many times do you see on the news, did you know that guy next door killed 47 people? I had no idea. He seemed like a nice guy. He didn't really say much. He was quiet. Suburban murders. There's a lot of murdering in the suburbs. See, in the cities, there's gunfire. People getting shot, robbed in convenience stores. You hear about that all the time. But in the suburbs, that's where your serial killers are. The Gilgo Beach murderers. The abusers. The domestic violence. The teenage pregnancies. It's a bedroom community, they call it, the suburbs. And I'm suffocating in it. Well, it's good to be here. And like I said, this is my first episode. It'll be just me. And in the future, I'm going to have some great guests. I'm going to focus on music, comedy, politics, and culture in the suburbs, with the general theme being what inspires these people. And I have some great guests. I'm going to be talking to one person a week. And it'll be about, I don't know, 45 minutes to an hour. I don't know. I haven't figured out the length yet. I got to figure it out. I'm going to have my friend Don Sill is going to help me with some of the editing. He's going to be on as a frequent co-host. And also Mike Keegan will be joining me. But today I just want to give you a little introduction as to what it's all about. It's all about the suburbs, inspiration, what makes these people tick. And I got some good people. I've already got some guests that have agreed to do it. Comedian Bobby Collins is going to be a future guest. Amazing. He's a comedian's comedian. I love the guy. I've appeared with him on 11 shows. I'll tell you the story about Bobby and how he inspired me and how he continues to inspire me when I get to that episode. Epi Epstein, the owner and founder of my father's place on Long Island, Roslyn, Long Island. And that's a key place because, like I said before, in order to get some real culture and artistic endeavors, you had to go to New York City. You had to go to CBGB's and the Bottom Line in Max's Kansas City and the Blue Note Cafe and Cafe Wah to find something of inspiration. But Epi started my father's place with the same kind of rules that existed only in New York City clubs. He brought it to Long Island, to the suburbs, the bedroom community. And they loved it. I loved it. And I got to know him. It's great. I'm also going to have some politicians on. Anthony Piccirillo. I had to think about his name for a minute. Good guy. Suffolk County legislator. And I'm hoping to get some other key guests. I'm working on them. I'm going to have a poet Billy Lamont. He's written books. I'm going to talk to him about poetry. What's the market like for poets in the suburbs? Seems crazy. I'm going to have Samantha Tetro from Samantha's Little Bit of Heaven, a Christian coffee house that she started up in East Northport, and talk to her about inspiration. She's got some great stories on how she got started. These are the kind of guests I'm talking about. It's going to be fun. informative, educational, funny. I'll do some comedy. I'll work out some material, some jokes, tell you about my comedy journey once in a while, brag about myself. I'll also have my daughter, Cynthia Gianturco. She's starting up a new nonprofit, and we'll talk about that, about the environment and doing the wonderful things she's going to be doing. I'll have my nephew, Nick Mancuso, who's keeping the dream alive of good music on Long Island. He's a WUSB DJ from Rock and Roll Rebel Radio. And he's a great kid, and you're going to love him. Kid, he's freaking 30. I don't know where the time went. I'm 63 years old. I'm looking ahead to retiring, getting out of the rat race, and finally doing what I love. It's an awakening, doing what you love. It's an awakening. And I want to see how the people I speak to had that awakening. Suffocating in Suburbia. I hope you like it. I'm Stevie GB.